something special has happened to our organisation, not always a great thing for us, is the retirement of our long-serving President Des Ritchie. To make a special presentation, I want to introduce another great friend of this festival, Professor Ian Lowe. Give him a cheer. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's an honour and a delight to say just a few words acknowledging the contribution that Des Ritchie has made to the Queensland Folk Federation and Woodford Folk Festival in particular. Des has been president of the Queensland Folk Federation since 1996, an extraordinary record of service. I can't imagine how anyone could put up with being president of any organisation for 18 years, let alone one as large and complex and demanding as the Queensland Folk Federation. Des has always been a passionate advocate for a better world, arguing for environmental responsibility, arguing for cultural advance, for social justice, for nuclear disarmament and peace. And his contribution was recognised earlier this year when he was awarded the Order of Australia Medal for his contribution to culture and environment. What I want to recognise tonight is the fact that he's the person who is singly most responsible for the extraordinary environmental emphasis of the Woodford Folk Festival. Under his leadership, 100,000 trees have been planted on this site. Every year, festival goers have dug into their pocket and paid for trees, and every year in May, volunteers have dug into the ground and planted them, transforming what was a rather degraded cattle property into the wonderfully diverse environment you see around you today. Under his leadership, a wastewater plant has been commissioned, at a stroke reducing the carbon footprint of the Woodford Folk Festival by 11%. Under his leadership, your food is now all served on biodegradable cutlery and plates, and the food waste last year was turned into 25 cubic metres of compost at the end of the festival. And under his leadership, the greenhouse has flourished as an environmental hub, with a collection of speakers whose expertise and wisdom would make any university faculty of environmental studies green with envy. More generally, under Des's leadership, the festival has become a real exemplar of sustainability, while flourishing as a celebration of music, of dance, of visual arts and progressive thought. So we all owe a huge debt to Des Ritchie. Individually, we can personally tell him how much we appreciate his contribution, but collectively here tonight, we recognise it by inducting him solemnly into the ancient and noble Order of Woodfordia. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Des Ritchie, OAM, Order of Woodfordia.
I am so moved, so moved. Hello everybody and welcome, welcome here. Thank you for remembering that festivals are for happiness. This comes first, then joy, then expectation, and then pure fun. Every personality imaginable is here at Woodford. You simply let go all the stuff you brought with you and pamper yourself sufficiently to ignore nationality, ignore religion, ignore colour, ignore every other oddball that comes around and passes. I have thoroughly enjoyed the last 17 years as your president. In that time we have had our ups and downs with extremes. But your committee and the executive held their nerve and their heads high. Thus, we are coming through to what I believe is the best festival ever on this land. As Ian said, planting 100,000 trees together with running a major programme of environmental talks, that is the Greenhouse, which hosted some of the best environmental brains in the country, has made me extremely happy, very happy indeed. And of course, the big issues of climate change, along with the destruction of our Great Barrier Reef. It requires every possible effort from all our groups, all our companies, all our festivals. One can organise. We have to use them all to come together and come to terms with this thing called climate changing, which is in fact the weather. We must save our children and our grandchildren from the most extreme horrors of nature. That is, we must prevent hell on earth. In working towards these goals, I can humbly assure you, that the Woodfordia will use every useful idea and every effort to achieve successes in these problem areas. And Woodfordia will not ignore folk songs and folk music as a great, healthy communicator. Have a wonderful festival. Have a fabulous new year. I love you all.
Thank you, Des Ritchie, and thank you all for your patience. Now let's bring on some monsters.